This week is all about cooking what I've already planned and then cooking out of my pantry and freezer to extend what I've got and avoid a second trip to the grocery store. Hey friends, what's up? I'm Kate and I, like many of you, are trying to cut my grocery bill in 2023. Give me a like if you're in this boat as well, and let's jump in. So I was informed at the end of last week that the only food in our house had to be cooked before it was eaten, so I went to Sam's this week to kind of fill out with some snacks and easier meals. I've got 2 loaves of bread. One of these I'll probably put in the freezer for future use. I've got fruit to snack on, so I've got pears, bananas, and grapes. These grapes were $1.50 for 3 pounds, which I thought was a really nice price. I've got 36 eggs, and these were $13.58. That's the best price that I've seen on eggs in weeks. I've got some applesauce for the little ones. I've got some pretzel crisps for snacks and easy lunches. I've got chicken bites. These are a Chick-fil-A dupe and really nice to have on hand for quick dinners or lunches when there's just not a whole lot else, typically toward the end of the week. And then I've got some baby food for the little one and bell peppers. This isn't a whole lot of meat and it wasn't a whole lot of food in general. I got this for $94.02. So let's see what I can do with it. Let's make banana bread. The first thing that you're going to do is gather your ingredients and your small helper if you're using. And then you're gonna have half a cup of melted butter. This is coconut oil because I'm out of sticks of butter. Cup of brown sugar. And 3 ripe bananas. These were frozen, so they're nice and gross looking. 2 eggs. You wanna crack that one? No shells. Okay. Dig out the shells that your small helper dropped in. And then half a cup of sourdough discard. I like using sourdough and making things with sourdough because it has a longer shelf life. It's a little bit healthier. And I think sourdough is kind of awesome. I will have this recipe linked down below. So half a cup of sourdough starter, and then we're going to do a teaspoon, of vanilla. I'm actually gonna add 2 because we like vanilla. You gonna dump for me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That's 1. Let's add 1 more for luck. And then we're gonna mix this and come back. No, don't lick it. It's not gonna taste good.
I think it is. I think it is.
Okay, so this is well mixed. To this mixture, we're going to add 2 cups of flour. Dump. 1 more. 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
What's baking soda?
Where'd my teaspoon go?
I don't know.
What'd you do with it?
I don't know.
One teaspoon of baking soda.
Baking soda.
Baking soda. 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
And I don't.
Yep. Oops.
But I got it off you.
Yeah, you made a little bit of a mess. We'll do a heaping teaspoon of this one. All right, 1 more. Careful this time. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Don't look at
that.
Salt. You want to dump? All right, and then we're gonna mix 1 more time and come back. The last thing you're gonna add if you're using is pecans or walnuts. I prefer pecans, and I don't measure, I just kind of dump in and see what feels good. You wanna help? Or are you just playing in the baking powder? One more mix, and then this is ready for the oven. All right, so if you're feeling extra fancy, you're gonna sprinkle with some more pecans or walnuts.
Can I sprinkle some?
Yeah, go ahead. And then this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 60 minutes. Again, recipe linked in the blue below. What a fantastic breakfast. All right, guys, let's get started on egg roll in a bowl. I'm gonna heat some oil in a pan that I've preheated. And then I'm gonna throw in 1 leek and 3 stalks of celery that I have chopped. Give that a little stir and let it soften. I'm gonna add a pound of ground pork. You could also use ground beef or ground turkey. And then I'm going to break that up and just get it browning. Once that's all broken up and browned, I'm gonna add 2 shredded carrots and 1 shredded head of cabbage. I'm just gonna saute all this together until those carrots and cabbage just kind of start softening. You do want to make sure whenever you're stirring this to stir very carefully because it is shredded carrots and cabbage. It does make a huge mess. Through magical editing techniques, I have hidden most of my mess, but believe me, it is there. All right, so now that that has fully kind of cooked down, I'm gonna put in about 3 cloves of garlic, about 2 teaspoons of ginger, and I'm gonna mix that up and brown it and then mix it in. My apologies for not showing the containers. Now I'm going in with about 1/4 of a cup of liquid Aminos. You can also use soy sauce, but I prefer liquid Aminos. My husband disagrees, but he's not the one cooking. Subscribe for more of me picking fun at my husband, guys. All right, now that that is all mixed in, you're gonna want to make a well in the middle of your mixture, and we are going to crack an egg into the pan. Once we do that, we're going to take a little chopstick and give it a scramble. And once it is nice and scrambled in the pan, you're just gonna cook it like you normally would scrambled eggs. Once it's pretty well cooked, you can start mixing it into the rest of the mixture. I did mine a little bit early, but it still worked out fine. You can add a little bit of Sriracha to taste. I did just a little bit because I've got 2 little ones. And then finish it up with a drizzle of that sesame oil. And there is a delicious dinner. It took about 10 minutes. All right, so we have 2 cans of chicken. Then I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, some mustard. This is horseradish mustard. Some fresh ground pepper. Good smattering. A little bit of Italian seasoning. And then because I'm feeling fancy, I'm gonna add a little bit of celery, but you don't have to. And this is just a really quick and easy lunch. All right, so I'm gonna use a little bit of celery. And then I'm just gonna mix this up, and this is lunch today. Is it fancy? No. Is it the healthiest thing? No. But it's not takeout. And that's what we're going for right now. Last recipe of the week is gonna be taco soup. Make sure you have a small helper with you. We're gonna start with some oil. I have avocado. You use whatever you have on hand. You could also do bacon grease, always a positive for soup. And then we're gonna empty a package of chorizo into the pan and get that browning. Make sure your small helper shows off all your utensils. So helpful. And then I'm just gonna brown this chorizo. I like to make sure that it's good and done. And so that is gonna be in the pot for a little bit, like 5 to 10 minutes. Once that's done, I'm gonna add all my cans not drained. I have green beans, and then we've got corn, diced tomatoes, pinto beans, a tri-bean blend, and Ro-Tel tomatoes. And I'm just gonna give that a quick mix before I add ranch dip mix. Now, I use ranch dip instead of ranch dressing because it is milk free and I am lactose intolerant, so that's important when I'm planning my dinner. One more mix and then I'm gonna add some chicken broth. I've got a chicken bouillon cube today, and then that's going to be followed by 4 cups of water. One more mix. Then I'm going to turn that stovetop all the way up to 11 and make some soup. So once that is boiling, you want to turn it back down to simmer for 20 minutes. It is a great time to cook your rice. All right, and here is that steamy, good taco soup. Lovely standby. So many things you can do with a very simple recipe. Very hands-off, very easy, hearty, delicious dinner that my family raves about. Well guys, that was our week. If you want to check out last week's video and the chicken soup that I made, which is amazing, I've got that video linked down below. Otherwise, ignore the baby in the background and I'll see you next week.